Welcome to another episode of Raven Conversations. I'm Joe Seamandel, State Public Affairs Officer for the Washington National Guard. And today we're on location at the Army Aviation Sustainment Facility, and I'm joined by CW4 Jameson Peters, who is going to talk to you about being an Army Guard pilot as well as flying in the commercial civilian side. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, appreciate it, Joe.
Yeah, quick introduction and take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, as you said, I'm CW4. I'm with Det 7 here at JBLM. I fly the C12 behind you, and on this side of the C12 I've been in since 2014. Been flying with my current employer, Delta Airlines, as a first officer in the Airbus 320 since June of last year, and I couldn't ask for a better career. It's been great on both sides, both C12 and now flying with the airline that I'm going to end my career with, Delta Airlines.
So how did you get involved with the C12 program?
Honestly, they had an opening. That's how it kind of works in aviation. When an opening comes up, they post it. Everyone puts in, and it's your qualifications that and your merit that will get you that position. And I happen to be one of two individuals that was selected back in 2014. And since then, we've picked up a couple more. We've had a couple retirements. W5 Dosey wasn't too long ago. He was our long-standing resident airplane guy. And unfortunately, I've taken over that reign as the longest guy in the unit.
Hey, that's all right, though.
I'm enjoying it.
So now, this kind of led you to your civilian career. Explain how that happened.
2019 was a good time for civilian aviation. There was kind of a big flux in a vacuum where a lot of retirements were happening. They didn't know how they were going to fill those with all just regional guys, and military had a good opportunity to fill that void. And so I made the jump. 2019, went to Compass Airlines. That didn't go so well for the company, not because of me, just the industry itself. They went under. I found a couple other gigs, went on deployment, and came back in 2021 to Horizon. Was flying for them for a while, and then recently got on with the carrier that I'm with now.
Yeah. So I always ask this question.
Yeah.
How does your Guard career help with your civilian career?
Well, I don't know if I'd be flying airlines and flying airplanes if I wasn't flying an airplane inside the Army. I came in with my private pilot license in helicopters. I think that helped me get into helicopters and into aviation in the Guard, but it was definitely the Guard that kind of catapulted my civilian career, even though they mirrored at one time and kind of merged. I was a technician. It's definitely helped. I mean, I come in here and I work with some of the most outstanding professionals doing hardcore missions out on the ranges, or flying around helping out, or we're doing troop transport over YTC, and you just become like that. It just rounds you better. And then when you take that and go to the civilian side, you find that the structure and the checklist and just the way the Army operates carries over so much more profoundly than you would have suspected if you had just been a civilian aviator and then gone through. Not to say that they're not professionals and great at what they do, because they are, those that didn't have military experience. But there is some kind of weird little, like, sixth sense type of thing that military aviation, I think, pushes into us, and then we carry over to the civilian side, that we just kind of look at things a little bit differently and carry it over. It's helped out immensely.
So now on the flip side, how has your civilian career helped in your Guard career?
I fly a lot more hours on the civilian side than I do over in the Guard. And so me being more comfortable with areas through SeaTac, through Portland, through these big airspaces, we would do it in the Guard, but not as frequently. I mean, I know frequencies now off the top of my head. I know route structures. I know airspaces off the top of my head. It's way more ingrained on the civilian side, which helps me on the military side to not have to focus on that. I can just jump right back into the Guard. I can jump right back into the Army regulations, and I don't have to focus on the FAA side because I've already now got that so ingrained in the back of my head.
Nice. So for those watching that are like, hey, I would love to fly, and in the Guard or not, how do they actually take those steps and start that process?
Oh man, right now is a great time. There is a huge void. The major airlines across the board are going to be seeing retirements that they haven't seen in years. And then you have those backfilled by the regional pilots. And now the regionals are realizing they're going to have a void. If you want to go be a civilian on the civilian side, it's going to take a little bit of money. There are schools now that will start you from 0 all the way to your airline transport pilot rating, your ATP, which is what you would need to fly commercial. You could go all the way through in that school. It's going to cost you, I mean, I haven't looked at the figures lately. It's going to cost you a good penny. But it's all about dedication. If that's something that you're interested in, I say do it. As far as the Army side, if you are not in the Army, you would, as we tell everyone, make sure it's all in writing before you go in. You can talk to your MEPS guys and get everything signed. Do all your testing before you come in. There's knowledge tests. There's more strenuous physicals you have to go through. Knock those out before you even come into the Guard. But if you're already in the Guard and aviation's something you're interested in doing, speak with some of the warrants, speak with some of the officers that are already doing the flying. Definitely helps to get their perspective of how much the commitment is, because that's a huge one. Nobody really understands the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer. As those of us that are in the Guard, we know it's not really that all the time. And in aviation more so, we have the exact same flying hour requirements that active duty does. And it makes it difficult if you're trying to juggle home life and the Guard life, because you're going to be in here more than that 1 weekend a month. You're going to be doing at least 9-10 days sometimes, just to keep those minimums. But if nothing else, if you're on the outside and you're looking in of the Guard and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to go aviation, that's something that's kind of interested, go get one of those introductory flights. Flight schools all around the area, Renton, Auburn, Thunfield and Puyallup, SeaTac, or Boeing Field, excuse me. They all have the little Cessnas and they all have flight schools. Go buy an hour flight and get around there, and they'll take you up. You can feel if you're comfortable in it, if it's something you're interested in. They'll typically give you the controls. You can kind of maneuver around. And if it is something that's deep down, like a little spark, and you get up there, it's going to ignite. And then, unfortunately, you're hooked. And then you don't care what the cost is. You're gonna go for more. But I definitely say, go get that intro flight, get around the area, kind of see it from up there, get a taste of what's going on first.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the info. And if you're interested in flying in the Guard, we'll add the information in the notes. If you like the video, hit like, subscribe, and let us know if you guys want different kinds of content. Thanks. Appreciate it.